How do you lose a battery charger? I mean, really, how does that happen? Guys, how did I lose my battery charger? Oh! Do 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 do. Do do do. Let's find our jammer. Come on, why is the chat not working? Hey, chat, what's going on? It's not working. Oh, maybe? Oh, finally. There we go. There we go. All right. Chat wasn't working, sorry. Finally got it figured out. Now it's working. All right. Got the chat to work. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. What's up, everybody? It's Friday, June 18th, 2020, 21, right? I think that's what's going on. What's up, everybody? Welcome to our neck of the woods out here where we internet freely, where we internet frostily. I don't know. There's a bunch of descriptive words that we could throw around out there, like vigorously, casually, somehow casually and vigorously all at the same time. Good to see everybody today. I'm going to give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Mikey Fishy, Alyssa Bentley, Pipex, Aubrey Wright, Paula Kreinberg, Mikey Fishy again, Michael Sarr, Steve Bearteach, Chirish, Frank Dominguez, Big Tank Hank, Aubrey Wright, Joel G, Terry's Tropical Tanks, Sci-Fi Swordsman, The Zombie Drummer, Zelfernide. Ooh, what's up, Zelf? I haven't heard from you in a long time. Kevin's Canine and Aquatics, S, that's right, the letter S. Alyssa Bentley, I think I already said Alyssa, but why not? We'll say it again. And Michael Starr's just hoping to not fall asleep. I think he's having a long day. He's having a long day, I think, you folks. Zip Gun. Did I miss Zip Gun? All right, there we go. I think I got everybody. It's good to see you guys on a Friday. It is fantastic out here. Some people requesting an internet. Hold on, let me see if I can do it. Internet! I don't know. I don't know if I can do it anymore. I don't know if I'm that practiced to be able to yell internet anymore. I think I'm out of practice. I don't know. I'm getting old. I'm now a million years old. So who knows? Mikey Fishy testing out these super chats to see if super chats work. It turns out $4.99. They're working. Oh my God, guys, they're working. Very much appreciate super chats. Very much appreciate our patronizers. Very much appreciate our members. Let's update our numbers here real quick. You guys will notice I'm looking down here in the corner because I have to do it live. We had 83 members. We're now down to 80. Wherever those 3 people went, I'm sorry. I hope everything's going well for you. Hope you could come back into the fold someday. You know, I hope you can. And Patreon, it went down to 180, and then it went back up to 182. So I don't know what's going on there. People probably just pushing buttons and getting weird. That's why I'm able to continue doing YouTube at this point. I'm going to be honest. I'll be brutally honest with you guys. People that are members, people that are Patreon patronizers and whatnot, is the only reason I'm able to do YouTube at this point. I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys. That's where I'm at. Hopefully we can get more patrons and more members at some point in time. I remember somebody asked me a while ago. They were like, hey, how many members do you need realistically to just go full YouTube time, right? And I was like, I think the number's somewhere around 500. I think that's kind of the number. A famous guy wrote a book. What is it? The Rule of 1,000 Fans. 1,000 True Fans. This is an amazing book. I read this probably too long ago. When did this book come out? It can't be true. 2017? I don't think that's true. This must be like the new printing. When did this originally come out? There's no way that this came out in 2017. 1,000 True Fans, right? Let's Google it. Oh. Publication date. Publication date. When did this come out? 2008. Okay. I was like, there's no way this came out in 2017. So they reprinted it. The reprint says 2017. Okay, so that makes a lot more sense because I was like, there's no way I read this 3 years ago and somehow the pandemic just like made my brain think it was well over a decade ago. Yeah. Where'd my chat go? Okay. This is the book I'm talking about right here. If you guys are interested, you can go on to Amazon and then you can check it out. You can download. I think you can download the audio version. I hope you guys know I'm a huge fan of audiobooks. I am constantly listening to audiobooks all the time. It's probably the only reason I still have anything to do with Amazon, me being an Amazon affiliate and all that stuff. Just so you guys know, full explanation, I'm an Amazon affiliate, so don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me, the Federal Trade Commission people or whatever. Like, I always try to put the caveat in there. But I love books, audiobooks. I'm constantly listening to audiobooks. What am I currently listening to right now? Where'd the Audible thing go? It's the one thing I don't like about the Audible app. It always ends up like back in my apps. Here it is. For some reason, it does that. I am reading. Let me see if there's any personal. I don't think there's any personal information, but it's called. Oh man, can my camera even pick it up? No, apparently not. It's called "How to Hide an Empire," by Daniel Immerwahr. And I've read parts of this book, like excerpts of it, but I wanted to read the whole thing. And rarely do I have an opportunity to sit down and read for hours and hours on end, but I do constantly work with my hands and whatnot, and it's a great time to throw on the headphones and listen to a book. And I can rewind regularly when my brain goes off into La La Land. I'm like, oh, what happened? I got to go back a couple minutes, you know. But yeah, I love the audiobooks, so if you guys are wondering what I'm talking about. But in relation to my original jump in there was about, it definitely had to do with the fact of like, how do I go independent with this channel? That book right there will definitely explain how that works. But just to give you the liner notes summarization, it's basically like if you have 1,000 air quote true fans, people that are, you know, dedicated to what it is that you do, you're basically looking at creating an income from 1,000 people that's like $2 a month, between $2 and $4 a month. So like, let's say if you're a band and you sell a t-shirt and a CD to your fan once a year, you know, you level out the profit from that, and like, let's say your profit's like $15 from a t-shirt, and then it's $10 from the CD or something. You look at like $25 in a year, you've hit that $2 metric, and that an artist would be able to live off of that. Now, you won't be a lavish income or anything like that, but you'd basically just be working a decent job that you probably would be working anyhow. And that's obviously the idea of any artist out there, people that are working on stuff. You want to be able to work full-time and dedicate your time to the stuff that you like to make. And I would personally, from a personal standpoint, I would love to just be making videos for you guys all the time. But I literally am just running around like a chicken with my head cut off on a regular basis. Although I did have about a 45 minutes Minecraft sesh earlier today, which was pretty fun. I was gonna stream on Twitch, but I didn't feel like wearing a shirt. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was like, it's super hot out, and I don't want to wear a shirt, so I don't want to. I don't want to be broadcasting on Twitch because they get mad if you're not wearing a shirt. You know, we all got rules, and I was like, well, I'm not going to broadcast my Minecrafting because I don't feel like wearing a shirt today. I don't know if that's ever happened to any of you guys out there. My sleeves get wet all the time, and sometimes I think, hey, why don't I just not have some sleeves? Then they won't get wet. And I'm like, oh my God, this is $1 million idea. I got to sell people on not wearing a shirt. And then you realize that that's something that doesn't generate any kind of income for anybody, because you're like literally like, don't buy anything and just wear no shirt. Right? Mikey has brought up a good point. He says, are you done streaming Minecraft on the YouTubes? No, I'm not. My schedule has been wildly conflicting with doing the evening Minecraft streams. As you guys know, we've been doing a giant whole bunch of remodeling here to the house. Things have been stripped apart, and that's definitely been occupying a lot of my Minecrafting streaming time. You know, because you do generally run out of hours in the day, as was prescribed to me yesterday when I fell asleep in the recliner. You know, I was like, hey, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna sit over here for a little bit, and I'm just gonna sit over here. I'm just gonna chill. You know, the baby has gone to bed. The baby's asleep. You know, things are going good. And then I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit over here for a little bit. Maybe I'm gonna have a little sip of water or something. And then I was like, and then I woke up with my mouth. I was apparently breathing out of my mouth, like the worst possible way that you could sleep, because my throat was like a desert. I had like a desert living inside my inside parts. Desperate need. A desperate need for moisture at that point. And then, of course, I was like awake. So then I was like, well, I guess I'll watch a TV show. And then I fell asleep again. And then I woke up, and then I went to bed. I went and washed up and went to bed, because that's what you do. Yeah, my schedule this week was totally crazy, with work, with other work, with house remodel, with Olivia, with this, with that, just had a million things going on. So, but I will do the Minecraft streams fairly soon, but I definitely will be trying to isolate a lot of that stuff to specifically the Twitch platform. I'll probably, I've kind of, I don't know that I've decided, but I've sort of like, let me try to do a little more of the Twitch stuff. Well, Mikey says, but the Minecraft YouTube streams are awesome for background noise when I work on my kitchen. That's a good point. That is a good point. I'll do my best. I know I'll put your $5 super chat to work, and we'll see what I can do, dude. But speaking of shirtless streaming, or not streaming because of being shirtless, let's talk about today's topic: aquariums in the heat wave. As you guys know, a lot of people out there are experiencing excess of 120 degrees Fahrenheit, which I have no idea what that is in Celsius. So let's go 120 F to C. There we go. 49 Celsius. So if that sounds hot to you, it is. A lot of the United States is in a wild heat wave, and this is one of the unfortunate things, you guys. A lot of people, and when I say a lot of people, I mean the firm, absolutely strong, firm, wild, disproportionate to anything else group of scientists have been saying that climate change is happening and that we have a problem and that we need to make a strong consideration on how to address it. And I think we're starting to see the effects of what it is that they're talking about. And when I say like the majority, it's like, it's not 70%, it's not 80%, it's like 98.9% or something. Is like, well, all this information says that this mechanism is doing this. And this mechanism is difficult to predict because it's very large, because it's our planet. But from the evidence that is happening, or the evidence that is being collected over a long time period, that it's pretty clear something's going to happen. And one of the big things is the extreme weather events. And we're starting to see more and more of those as every year goes by. Now, I'm not trying to tell you that you need to do something about climate change, because if that's something that you want to do, that's something that you're going to work on. That's something that you're going to start taking some little baby steps to make some changes. I would implore with anybody who is watching this live stream to, just do some recycling and stuff like that. But it's clear that the responsibility comes down to the much larger whole, whether it be corporate entities, whether it be governing bodies, to make some changes in order to set a standard so that we as a world, as a planet, can continue to exist long into the future. And instead of listening to individual kookaloos who like to come out and say, like, this is all rubbish and this has always happened, I would implore you to read some of the studies and stuff like that and go, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to vote in this direction. This is what I'm going to hope, try to platform some good ideas to make some changes. And that's what I would implore for you to do. That's where I would come from and say, hey, this is what I believe we should be investing our energy and stuff like that. It's pretty clear that we do need some progressive thinking in the United States. We probably need some more progressive thinking throughout the rest of the world. And that's pretty apparent to me at this point, and we'll see how things go. But you as a fish keeper, wake up today and realize, oh my God, it's going to be 120 degrees out. What am I going to do? My fish are going to be too hot. Chirish mentioned earlier they were adding 2-liter frozen 2 liters to their tanks to keep it chill in there. Now, obviously, if you have air conditioning or something like that, if you have a temperature-controlled environment, it's not something that you're probably going to be too worried about. But most of us regular people, our fish rooms are probably escalating in heat right now. And there are a few ways that you can go about mitigating that. The first thing that I would do is immediately do a water change. Now, the reason for that is when it's extremely hot out, you're going to have a lot of evaporation from your aquariums, right? That's going to be the first and foremost thing. That your tank could drop an inch, right? Your tank could drop an inch in the water line and it not really be a big deal to you as the human, but it definitely could increase the compounds in the water, right? So if we're talking about ammonia, you now have less amount of H2O. The H2O purely is going to what's evaporate, and it's going to leave all those minerals and additives to the things that are added into the water, whether it be ammonia, nitrate, nitrite, blah, 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 long list of stuff. There will be more in it per water molecule, right? Because the water molecules are escaping as a total, but none of those compounds are going to evaporate, right? So you're going to get more of those. So the first thing that I would do in a big heat wave is do a water change, get your water back to levels that are easier to maintain, knowing that you're going to have evaporation. One of the other factors is that once the temperature rises, certain compounds within your water become more toxic to your fish. They become more toxic to your shrimp, and it's very important. And because of the increase in temperature, things are more toxic. You have less oxygen in your water column, and you have all those things going on, which I would implore you to go ahead and do a water change, because that's the quickest way for you to get back to ground zero with your water. Essentially, you're going to get back to your baseline. You'll probably have a little bit cooler water coming from the tap, so you can recover a little bit of temperature there. Now you're going to start out. I haven't done that in the morning. There's the other thing that I would recommend you to do is the simple thing that anybody out there can do. Let's get one of these. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Is it even picking it up? This microphone is so fantastic. You're going to go and you're going to get yourself a little fan. Now, that little fan, you're going to blow it right onto the top of the surface of the water, thusly causing water to evaporate. And with a mechanical intervention like that, with moving air across the top of the water, it's going to cause evaporative cooling. When water molecules evaporate, it takes heat in order to make that happen, and it's going to cool off the body of water, not in a dramatic way. It's not going to become a freezer. It's not going to become frozen or anything like that, but you're literally going to drop down some of that temperature to keep it within the range that is healthy for your fish. As mentioned earlier by Chirish, He has rice fish. The rice fish do not seem to mind about temperature, and one of the reasons for that is they hang out all the way at the top of the tank where oxygen exchange is readily available. So they'll probably just be up there swimming around up by the top going, whoa, it's super hot in here, but I'm just going to keep swimming around and breathing and do my thing. A lot of fish that are hanging around down the bottom, they're likely going to see more effects than the fish that are at the very top. Fish that are at the very top of the water column, they just they have a tendency to really weather the storm a lot better than most other fish. But with that evaporative cooling, you're going to drop it and keep that water temperature in range to keep your fish okay while this period of time is happening. You can add ice and things like that to the water column. I don't personally recommend that, except for in really extreme instances. Your water really shouldn't reach a temperature that, in my opinion, would require adding a block of ice to the water itself. And the reason for that is if it's 150, if it's 150 degrees, if it's 120 degrees outside, your indoors should at the very most be 100, 105 if you have like a really crappy building. And the water's not going to reach the exact temperature of the air, you'll likely get into the 90s or something like that. Most fish can handle that for a short period of time as long as you're doing the water changes and whatnot. But I would implore with you to get some simple fans, some cheap fans. I think I have. I think I shared this book, but I had a fan set aside here that is a cheap fan. It has a clip on it, very simple, and this one actually runs off of USB. Now, as I would typically like to remind people, you don't want to add a bunch of extra plugs into your system. So let's say you have 5 fish tanks, you have a bunch of power strips, you have all of this stuff plugged in. The last thing I would recommend people to do is plug in more into more outlets. And so what I use, and this isn't necessarily like a specific piece of advice that you have to take, this is just me giving you advice. I use this little USB fan and a USB battery, right? This is basically a USB, portable charger. It's a little battery bank that holds 10,000 milliamp hours, which is like milliwatts divided. But anyhow, 10,000 milliamp hours is enough to like run that little fan basically all day. And you can just move the fan wherever you need to. You can take that little battery bank, you can put it wherever. Worst case scenario, you're not going to overload your circuits from your house that are probably already getting overloaded, trying to run an air conditioner and all this other stuff that most people are plugging in. And you'll be able to use that little fan separately and not have more things plugged into your power strips, which I don't recommend you to be doing. And it's a really simple way that you could go like, all right, I'm going to manage what's going on while it's super hot. I can move the stuff to specifically where I want to put it. You're not going to have extra extension cords lying all over the place and all that kind of crazy stuff, especially while you're already dealing with this weird situation. There are cheaper battery banks out there. Feel free to look into those. I like these ones that actually have the USB-C. What is it? USB-C. What is it called? There's a name for it. It's like a quick charging feature for the phone. It's like the IQ USB-C quick charger thing. I like to get the ones that have the plug so that I can actually just plug them into something. Like I don't have to have a separate accessory for them and whatnot. You can just plug it into an outlet. It'll charge up, unplug it, take it where you need it, and then it's ready to go. I like the ones with the plug You don't have to get that. You can get much cheaper ones. I've seen ones that were like $9. So you don't have to get too crazy with the little battery bank. But I do like these little battery banks myself with the plug on them. They're much more useful for me. And also when they have the USB-C quick charge thing to quick charge your phone, it comes in super handy long term, because this hot weather is only going to be temporary. You might not need this long term, and it might come in handy later when you're just traveling around and you need something to charge your phone with or whatnot. So I always like to have stuff that has multiple uses and whatnot. Chira says, I'm running outdoor ponds in California. Even in full shade, my 150-gallon tubs are getting up there. We have clip-on fans hooked up to the off-grid system for each tub. Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's going to be the best option that you have, realistically. There are other crazy things that you guys could set up and get totally wild with, but I would prefer to recommend to keep it simple, and then people will be able to, operate themselves, in a simple fashion. Is Big Tank Hank still here? Let's see. Where's my thing not working? Huh? Oh, something just popped up on my other computer. Let's see. Who's here? Oh my god. This thing is not updating. Well, either way. Yeah, so that's kind of my recommendation on what to do with the hot temperature. And then I was going to talk about Big Tank Hank. As you guys know, he does a live podcast, live stream situation, and I will be on that show tomorrow. I'm not sure what time exactly. I forget, like 10 a.m. Pacific time, I think, is correct. I'll have to bug him and figure out our start time exactly. But that's what I have on my calendar, so I'm assuming that's when it is. Excuse me, I got a frog. I got a frog in my throat. It's probably going to make people super nervous because I'm going to stop talking for a second. Big Tank. There he is. Oh. Where's the share button? Okay, I guess we'll have to do it this way. Copy. There we go. So to those of you out there, this is Big Tank Hank's channel. You can check it out. He has all sorts of people come on his channel. And I will remind everybody out there that's watching the show, if you want me to come on your live stream or whatever, you just have to ask. That's basically the thing. I know that some people have asked me in the past, and I was like, yeah, all right, let's schedule it. And then they don't want to schedule it. They don't want to have any kind of time. And Hank basically, was like, oh, yeah, in a couple of weeks, how about the 19th? And I was like, cool, I'll put it on my calendar, and there we go. So, I think that's one of those weird things. Like, people have asked me to come on their show before, and I'm like, yeah, okay, let's figure out a day. And then they're like, well, I don't know what day. Okay, well, I don't know either. I don't run your YouTube channel, so I don't know. And it ends up being a problem. Let's see, videos. Here we go. I don't know where to find people's like upcoming events or anything like that, so I don't know. I don't think he's set up the event yet. But either way, I'll be on there tomorrow. That's my promo. It's the worst promo ever. Sorry, and it's not. It's because I'm just not good at doing promos for people or even myself. So, yeah, that's just a reality, and it's a rambling nonsense. There we go. Kevin says I show 11:30 a.m. Maybe that's right. I don't know. I'll bug him and we'll see exactly what time it is, and then I'll put an event up on the community tab, right? That's the way to do it. And we'll see if we get popping off tomorrow. But I do have to admit, I like going on people's shows. On Tuesday nights, we do a live stream with Dr. Black 66. If you guys are wondering, If you guys are wondering how I feel about all sorts of weird topics like sci-fi TV shows and stuff, that's generally the kind of stuff we talk about, like Star Wars and whatnot. That's generally what we do. We do that on Tuesday nights, America time, Wednesday during the day, Australia time. Yeah. So we have a lot of fun on there. It's pretty loose, and have a good time. At Corvus, do you mind modding me for a second so I can post the video link? I feel like modding somebody and then not modding them is a thing. Let's see. We'll add him as a moderator. Let's see how it goes. If you get out of hand, you're not going to be a moderator anymore. That's how it's going to go. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. If you post that thing up, we'll be able to share it out with people. I don't know why it wasn't showing up on his channel. I don't know why. Let's see. Big. Scrolling around with the buttons on the internet. Yeah, I don't know. It normally has like an upcoming button. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. YouTube normally has that like upcoming button. And then it doesn't have it right now. So I don't know. I don't know why. YouTube's broken. Yeah, I don't know. Well, either way, we'll figure it out. Well, with Kevin's help, we'll figure it out. There. Okay. Let's see. Fish Tank Barn with a $4 super chat. Everyone named Mike is super chatting today. So thank you very much for the cup of coffee. Clear my throat. There it is. Why was it not working for me? Can I actually go? Oh, it says, oops, something went wrong. My live chat says, oops, something went wrong. Oh, I don't think it'll let me go. Copy. Let's see. Is this the actual event? We'll see. Copy link. Oh yeah. I mean the event exists. Oops. Let's see what I got via my time. Via whatever time it is. Scheduled for June 19th. I don't know. 11:30 a.m. It says my time. So maybe I have my time all screwed up. But he's in Texas, I think, so maybe that's my problem. That could be my problem for sure. I would imagine. But either way. Thank you very much, Kevin. Very much appreciate it. Ooh. I'm going to unmod you now. Sorry, man. You haven't been around long enough. We can't trust you with the moderator. But the wrench, can we trust you? I don't know. Linda Worth with a $5 super chat. What's up with that? Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, Linda. Mike Kinseth. Everyone named Mike with the super chat today. Thank you, buddy. Matthew Romero with a $4 super chat says, how does this work? That seems to be working. Thank you, Matt. If you guys don't know, I'm going to go eat barbecue at Matt's house, you know? I'm going to go eat barbecue at Matt's house. I'm not even invited. I've invited myself. I'm going to show up there and I'm going to eat all of his barbecue. I mean, not all of it. I mean, come on. And I say barbecue as just a blanket term for food. Well, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate your support. I feel like I did the hard sell earlier with the like, hey, but that's just one of those things where you're like, you know, you're thinking about what it is that you're going to do and what it is that you're supposed to tell people that follow your channel and what you're going to talk about. And you're like, oh, yeah, I wanted to talk about that whole thing. Because I got an email. I got a very interesting email from somebody who has followed the channel for a long time. And I get these emails, like, I would say I get these emails probably like once a month that are really well thought out. They're clearly somebody who has been invested like superficially in the community. You know what I mean? Like somebody who's just in the outer kind of stratosphere, like not necessarily engaging, but they're just kind of floating around out there, Jupiter style or maybe even Pluto style or whatever. And they send me these really like clearly they've been around a long time type emails that almost always have all these questions in them and stuff, and they're very nice. And I do my best to try to reply to them. And I'm going to be like real honest with you. I don't do a good enough job replying to them. I really don't. And it's just a facet of like, I think it's a facet of human nature where you're like, I really want to invest some time into this. I don't want to just send, I don't want to just send like a 2-sentence response to something that is clearly like 9 paragraphs long. And there were a lot of questions in there that I thought, you know, a lot of them have to do with a line of thinking that seems to be across a lot of people's minds, because it's come up a fair amount of times where it's like, you know, people are like, well, hey, what would it take to get you to blah, blah, blah? What would it take to get you to blah, 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 da, 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 and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, the reality is like, obviously, I feel like I've put enough out there of my character that like, I definitely would be creating more if doing creative stuff was my full-time job, right? Like I honestly feel like I've put enough out there that like this is one of the big things that I'm invested in is, you know, creating things, doing experiments with things, trying new stuff, and continuing to share it with you guys to the best of my ability. And I feel like I've been doing that long enough that people would trust that it's like, oh, this is somebody that would do that. But like here we are in 2021 where the reality is more, you know, you either like win the lottery or you hit the jackpot with like who you know, or you like inherit some money, or you accidentally become super successful because a thing that you did like went across international lines and all of a sudden it got promoted for free, basically, right? Like those kind of things happen and somebody like, you get propelled out there and you get a chance to go for it. And, you know, I always thought that like the community, to continue to like build a small community, like the rule of the sum of 1,000 true fans, like I was talking about earlier, like I shared that book link, was that like, oh, maybe there's a chance that you get to 1,000 fans that could kick in like $3 a month or something like that, and then you go like, yeah, now I can do this as my job. And it has been consistently like well below that metric for a long enough time that like to jump off the cliff at this point, there's not really a parachute. It's sort of like, you have the pack on that would, you know, potentially have a parachute in it, but nobody put a parachute in it. So you literally would jump off and be like, well, I've got the pack. Oh, crap, there's no parachute in here. So I've never really been in that position of like, oh, this is what I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to invest all my time in doing this thing. I've just never gotten to that point. And somebody, like I said, that email that came, they said like, who would you be willing to create like video content for? And it's like, the list is longer than it is short, honestly, because I feel like the point of entry is so low, right, that most anybody in any kind of established like production company would be like, oh, that's the budget for that's the budget for paper clips off of that movie that we're doing. So yeah, here, whatever, you know. But it's clearly become I don't network well. I don't really care for all of that weird nonsense. Yeah, it's become more of the like, who do you know thing than anything else. And I'll be honest with you guys, like, I see Corey in the chat, and he knows that we've literally gone through the gracious generosity of the Aquarium Co-op and Corey to be able to, for me to go overseas and literally like have conversations with some of these people that might be able to like, hey, do you have a company? Do you want to fund this thing that I'm trying to do? And it literally was just like, no. It was just like a no. It wasn't even like, hey, we'd like to collaborate with you. It was like the few people that actually did talk to me that wanted to collaborate with me was literally like, hey, can you put in a good word for me with Corey? Because our company would like to do something with Corey. And it was like, yeah, this is a really weird situation that I don't really know how to respond to without like making a total asshole out of myself. So I'm just going to be, yeah, you know, I don't know. I'm not in charge of that department. I don't have anything to do with any of that. So, you know, and I've even gone over like, you know, even gone to like Europe by myself to, you know, try to strike up some stuff with some of these companies and stuff. And it just doesn't seem to be in the cards. So, as you guys know, this last year, the last 5 months or something like that, I've been really just kind of working on honing my craft and stuff and trying to get better at doing things and building a better infrastructure so that I can actually go do them. Like one of the big downfalls that I've noticed with, you know, trying to film, you know, for instance, like trying to film people's fish rooms, right? Like, you go to somebody's house, you show up there, you've like never met this person before in your entire life. Let me break it down for you. Like, here's how it goes. You go way far from your house, 2,000 miles. Go 2,000 miles away from your house. So you're gonna be tired. You're gonna be staying in a hotel. You're gonna blah blah blah, all blah blah blah, all that boohoo, woe is me stuff, right? Like, I'm uncomfortable, my back hurts, and I'm tired. Like, okay, put all that stuff aside. But you are going to be uncomfortable. You are going to be a bit jet lagged. You're going to be in a different time zone. You know, the regular things that you sort of rely on as a person are just going to be out the window. So like whatever your normal schedule is, that's all screwed up. You know, like if you're like me, when you like to get up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, check your emails, do that kind of stuff, take a shower before you do anything else, and then get on with your day. Like, that's probably not going to work because of whatever timeline when you're traveling like that. Then you, you know, you kind of run around, you talk to a bunch of people, you do this, you do that. You get somebody's going to give you a ride over to somebody's house who has some amazing projects, air quote, amazing projects. And you show up there and you're really playing Russian roulette, or maybe Russian roulette's a little too dramatic. Let's say you're playing craps, right? You're playing regular old alley dice, playing dice alley style, right? You're playing craps of whether or not it's going to actually be a place that should be even filmed at all, right? And then, of course, you show up there, and it's like they've got crazy lighting that's super reflective off of the tanks. They have a bunch of tanks that have no lights on them whatsoever. So you better have brought some lights, that kind of stuff. Maybe their house smells super funny. Maybe they smoke tons of cigarettes in there because, I don't know, you go to the Midwest and they love the Bible and they love cheap beer and smoking cigarettes. So you go in there and it's like, whoa, somebody smokes like 1 million cigarettes in here. Blah, blah, blah. It's all sorts of weird. And then you try to film some stuff, but the whole time you're there, you're basically going to spend having a conversation with somebody who has been waiting to have that conversation, and not with me, with just anybody that was going to come film their stuff. They've been waiting for years for somebody to show up and film their stuff, and they could talk to them about their fish tanks. And they're so excited to do that, and I appreciate it. I appreciate this 100%. But you're going to spend most of your time just talking to them, right? You're just going to spend your time talking to those people because, A, I want to talk to the people. I like people. I like talking with people. I like hearing what people are thinking. I like hearing what opinion they have. I like a back and forth and having conversations, getting a vibe of what's going on, getting a real vibe for the person, all that stuff. I love doing that. And you're going to spend a lot of your time there filming basically nothing because you're going to be talking to them, right? And, you know, to be honest with you, filming is a job. Like, being a cameraman and doing camera work is a job. If you're talking to somebody, you can't really be doing it. Yes, I've set stuff up. Nowadays I kind of do things a little differently where I set things up on tripods because I know that I'm going to be spoken to a lot. So it's like I'll set up a camera over here, a camera over there on a tripod, and then we'll be talking. I'll try to film stuff in my hands with my camera, and then I'll set a timer on my phone like, oh, I've filmed that tank for 6 minutes now. Let's move those tripod cameras real quick. We'll get at least a static shot of the tanks that really should get it and still film while I'm talking and taking still pictures and that kind of stuff. But doing all this kind of process has led me to the conclusion that, like, that form of travel is not working well for one singular person to go do that. I don't know how... I don't know how some specific creators are able to create as much content as they are. I've regularly spoken about Casey Neistat as a perfect example of, like, somehow this guy makes 1 million videos all the time somehow, and yet he still somehow operates as a person. I don't know. It just seems like he must just be stuffing a camera in everything that happens in front of him all day long or whatever. But maybe just that's how it is. Maybe that's how he operates his life. I don't know, but it seems off-putting from my perspective, like looking out on the world, to be doing that all the time. It's very odd. So one of the big things that we did was, we took out a loan. We put down a payment on a newer truck. We've got a travel trailer. I have some trips scheduled where I can actually drive with a travel trailer to a location, park, and hopefully film for, like, film for this day, film for that day, be able to have all that conversational time, and then maybe try to go somewhere else, or just go like, hey, that's how I'm going to do it from now on. And so we're going to try that out this year. We're going to see how that goes. We're going to see what that process looks like, if that's something that could be the future, because it might come down to it that I might end up, like, just scheduling things that way and being like, I'm going to go to a location to go do one locational shoot, and that's it. Like, I think that might be the way that it's going to have to be done. And, it's not even something that like I've invented myself, but I literally have looked into how National Geographic, how the Discovery Channel, how, for instance, like a lot of the rock climbing documentaries that I love so much, because you guys know I love rock climbing. I've got the footer built to put up my own climbing wall, so I can start teaching Olivia when she gets older to start climbing and stuff. And the local gym here actually is pretty cool, so hopefully we'll be doing some more climbing stuff, and that might bring some content to the channel and whatnot. But looking at how they film versus how I've been filming in the past, how that production works, and going like, okay, what could I glean from how they're doing it versus how I'm doing it, and going like, okay, I'm probably doing this process incorrectly for what I want to produce, right? And if I want to produce a specific content, I need to at least take the methodology of how somebody else is doing it, and apply that to how I'm doing it, right? When it comes to, you know, all sorts of projects, I normally have like a really good take on how I want to do it. And I've tried that on numerous occasions, and it doesn't seem to necessarily be what is required for the actual follow-through that I want. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. But, you know, whether or not it's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do, I don't know. But I'm trying something new. I'm trying something new by doing what some other people do. Right? Something new to me. So we're going to try that. We're going to see how it goes. And hopefully it'll work out. Like I said, we've got some trips scheduled around the work schedules. So it should be good. The first one is next weekend. So we're going to see. We're going to test it out. We're going to see how it goes. Hopefully it's going to be good. Hopefully it's going to be good. I don't know. Fingers crossed, you know what I mean? Oh my God, we have like 1 million super chats here because we're just, I guess we're popular on a Friday. I don't know what happened today. Nick's Fish Room with a Canadian. It's like a toonie, and a loony, and you combine them together and you make a $5 Canadian bird coin. Here's some Canada bucks. Canada Cabucks. What the hell? For the cause, I wish I could make your live stream more often. Nick, I appreciate you, my dude. You know, you don't necessarily have to make the live stream, but you just post some stuff in Discord every once in a while, and we'll know you're alive, and we could keep track of what's happening with you. I think that's the good middle ground, right? I think that's the good middle ground, my bro from Canada. A Canada trip is in the works, so I do plan on going up there. You know what's funny is I was wondering, because I noticed that Fish for Thought has been doing amazingly well. I think he has like 200,000 subs now or something like that. I was the early patronizer of the Fish for Thought, and I think he only had like 1,500 subs or something like that when I started patronizing him, and love his content, love that guy very much. And like a perfect example was, I hit that guy up to like, I was like, hey, you know, I'm just south of Seattle. Like, you're in Vancouver, Canada. It's not very far. We could easily drive. And I was like, we should collaborate on some content. And his response was, I'm scared of that idea. Like, he was like, I appreciate it, but you scare me, so I don't think we should do that. I was like, oh, all right. Okay, but truth be told, hey, it worked out for him. So, like, but that's just like a perfect example of like something that has happened in the past that's like, I would love to collaborate with somebody. I'd love to do a thing with somebody. And it's like, that's the kind of response I get. And it's like, okay. Weird, but all right. Aquarium Co-op with the $3 super chat says, chipping in for the entertainment. Joel G with a super New Zealand, super Kiwi $3 super chat, chipping in for the entertainment. We got Twin City Guppies upping the ante to $3.99 American style, chipping in for the entertainment. Mikey Fishy bringing it back to $2.99. That's what they said, or what they said. And Aubrey Wright going over the top, all of them, over the top of everybody with a $50 super chat, says I am entertained. Aubrey, I appreciate it, dude. That is wildly generous, and thank you. Mikey Fishy with a $20 super chat says fine. Fine. Here's a $20 super chat. So, yeah, $20 super chat. You know, here's one of the weird things. Like, if for some like completely insane, unforeseen madness or whatever, you know, and like, I think, like, here's the thing. If I suddenly started making a ridiculous amount of money doing YouTube content or something like that, would I hire people? Hell yeah, I would hire people. I'd hire people like Alyssa to start working on the channel. So speaking of that, like, a perfect example of that would be like Aquarium Co-op hiring Zenzo. Like, damn, dude, that guy was on my list of could you even possibly hire that guy? He was on my list of that dude should be hired. That guy's so awesome. Like, so, you know, people were wondering, like, if I would expand my ability to produce stuff and like hire people on, like, that is, yeah, like, that's 100% on my list of like, how can I hire some people to like work on stuff and work on projects and stuff. So that definitely is on my list of things to do someday. Nick says that would be awesome if you came up our way. You could visit Flynn and come up to the islands after that. I mean, I guess maybe I could visit Flynn. I don't know. I've never really had any conversations with Flynn or anything like that, so I don't know if it would be on my list. To be like brutally honest with you, I don't know. I never really talked to Flynn. I've met him a bunch of times, but he's like, he's a young guy, and I don't know what we would film. Does he have fish tanks? I mean, he must have fish tanks, right? Let me see. Flynn's Fish Forum, right? Isn't it Flynn's Fish Forum? Flynn's Fish Forum. Did I spell it wrong? Maybe I didn't. Let's see. Videos. Let's look at his videos. Mega Aquarium Store Tour a year ago. Beta fish tank setup. Adding beta fish. So a year ago, he had I think he had some tanks a year ago, but I don't know. He must have some fish tanks, right? But I know that he started his business, right? Where he's doing like tank maintenance or whatever. So I don't know what we would film if we went up there. If I went up to Nick's house, I know I'd be filming your fish room if we went up there. So I'm not sure what fish. So yeah, I don't know. As far as if I was going to Canada, I think my first place would be. Well, that's hard to say, but I think if we were going up to Canada, it would be to like go up to Nick's fish room. I think that's what we probably do. Yeah. Oh, okay. He has he has his own fish business, but here's the thing, like, I can't like go film him do maintenance on customers' tanks or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that would work. That wouldn't work out well. I can't imagine that like customers would be cool with that. You know? Alyssa says, if I worked for you, could we do outside trekking and looking at fish in streams? Yes, that is truck, travel trailer, travel equipment for filming and that kind of stuff. Yes, that's that's one of the big reasons I'm doing that. You guys know that people that followed the live stream here for a long time know that I've spoke about the project of campsite cleanup. That is a big project that due to the pandemic, we didn't get around to doing it last year. And, you know, like, I to be honest with you, like, I don't have a fantastic reason as to why we didn't get around to filming that last year, other than everybody was screwed by the pandemic. And the people I was going to film it with were screwed by the pandemic. So everything was just crazy last year. And it just was like kind of virtually impossible to do a lot of those filming projects. It just, you know, I mean, I think you guys, everyone understands. Everyone understands that the pandemic was nuts and nothing was working properly. So, I'm like preaching to the choir. You guys know everyone was involved, right? So, hopefully we're going to be doing some of that project this year. Nearing the end of the summer, we're going to be out there cleaning up some campsites. We're going to be filming it. We're going to be interviewing a couple of foresters, a couple of the forest workers, rangers, and whatnot. We're also going to be interviewing some of the local guides and stuff throughout Washington that will be coming on that project. Also, one of the projects that I'm going to be filming this year is interviewing my nearly 100-year-old grandmother. So there's a bunch of stuff that I'm trying to do. But yeah, one of them would be filming a bunch of nature stuff, going out and trying to do more projects like that. I know that like the co-op and them are going to Peru this year, and I think at some point in the future I'd like to do something akin to that, like do some of those trips. But I don't know exactly what that's going to look like as to when I will be able to do that, right? I don't know when I'll be able to specifically be able to go do that stuff myself, because right now, leaving for 2 weeks, I don't know. I don't know about just bailing out and being gone for 2 weeks. Like, family here, all the stuff going on. I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, obviously, I'd have to think about it and try to figure out, like, something that would work or not work or whatever. But at some point in time, those kinds of trips are going to come up. I mean, I'm only 41, so I've got at least probably a good 20 years where I'll be able to do that kind of stuff. So it might be next year, the year after that, something like that, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, to be honest with you, when Olivia's a little bit older, it's going to be easier for her to understand that, like, oh, Dad's in Timbuktu or whatever. Oh, my God. We got a $5 super chat from Zip Gun. Thank you very much. He does the, are you not entertained? We got a $10 super chat from Steve Bearteach. Says, get yourself something pretty. Oh, should I get something pretty? What should I get? Actually, I ordered a, what is it? What was it? There was a thing that I ordered. So it's a hard to explain, but if you're going to make a sled for your table saw, if anybody knows what I'm talking about, a crosscut sled for dado cuts, I know that is probably like I was speaking Japanese to a lot of people out there in the world. It's basically a piece that sits on top of a table saw, and you can slide it this way, and you can cut into material elevated up above, and you can it's whatever. It's been my old one is gross. I built it a long time ago. It's disgusting, and I ordered the sled parts for it to make a new one, and I'm looking forward to that because I have a bunch of little, it's fish tank related. They're little fish tank dealy bobs I'm going to be making and doing some hopefully snazzy videos about it over the next year, and wanted to be able to show you guys how to build that sled also so that I could make a YouTube short about it. Because I don't really have like a whole lot of ambition to make YouTube shorts, but I figure a woodworking YouTube short would be kind of fun. Mikey Fishing says, obviously the solution is to come to Virginia, just south of D.C., and take Olivia to the Smithsonian's. Maybe there's also a dude who would like to hang out. There's probably some really tall dude who probably wants to hang out in Virginia, I'm guessing. That's a hell of a long drive. So I don't know. I think if we were to go to the East Coast, we'd probably have to fly, which who knows with flying right now. Although I did look up flights to possibly go to oh my God, I forgot the name of the convention. What's the hold on. Fish I've forgotten the name of the convention. What? Is it Vivarium? I think it's Vivarium. Is that right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Vivarium. Jeez, I don't know what's wrong with me, but it's the 27th and 28th of November this year. And I was looking at flights for that. And just the flight out there, if I was to book like now, is what was it? I think it was like $1,600. So it's not completely. It's not completely insane number, to fly out to Netherlands for 8 days or whatever, or 7 days or whatever amount of time. So I was thinking about trying to maybe book for Vivarium this year, but you also got to think about accommodations and traveling around and all that stuff. So you never know. Never know if that's possible this year again. Because I went in 2018 or 2019. I thought it was pretty good. I have like a good idea now of like what I would like to film and all that kind of stuff, which is unfortunate because I'm not there now. So, but it is what it is. It's always good to have like hindsight is 2020 on those kinds of situations. All right. Seems like everybody's getting tired in the chat. I love you guys. Have a fantastic weekend. I will be live tomorrow on a Big Tank Hank for a podcast, live stream. What do you call it? Show. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Hey, thank you, everybody, for your super chats today. I very much appreciate it. Keeps the lights on so it's not dark in here. Love you. See you tomorrow. Oh, yeah, one more thing. Just hang around here for a minute. And, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. All right, we back for just a second. I wanted to mention Stuart Semple. This black paint is okay. You have to go to the Stuart Semple website. I am not affiliated with this at all, but if you want some of that insanely black paint, and you'll know in the future what I'm talking about when things show up voided out of videos, this is what I've been using to do it. And I didn't want to put it in the main body of the video. I just wanted to tell people at the end. This was extremely affordable for some of the blackest paint I have ever seen in my entire life. It's awesome. And it's just a guy, Stuart Semple. It's handmade in like Kentucky or something like that. I don't know. But he's just an artist, and check it out. If you have any crazy ideas about painting something black, that's what you want. All right.